Grab your popcorn, rip that ticket, get in that seat, lickety splicket. Go watch a movie. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Go Watch a Movie, episode 156. I'm Kelvin.
And I'm Robert.
Today, we are doing the film Mortal. You may not have heard of this one, but we're doing it. But before we get into that, a little bit of entertainment news. So for some godly reason, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and his production company, $7 Production, want to do a Scorpion King reboot. The first one went to theaters, the first spinoff of the Brendan Fraser Mummy series, where The Rock's first portrayed the Scorpion King. Then the spinoff, he was the Scorpion King, and it was like an origin story for him. And since then, there have been like 4 straight-to-DVD streaming Scorpion King movies that all blow chunks. But
I didn't know there was that many.
Oh yeah, here I want to be accurate here. The Scorpion King. Let's see. There's the Scorpion King. There's a Scorpion King 2, Rise of a Warrior. The Scorpion King 3, The Battle for Redemption. And the Scorpion King 4, which came out in 2015, The Quest for Power. Now, The Rock was only in the first one. Then various people played said Scorpion King. But yeah, for some reason they kept going. I don't know why. You've seen the original, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's shit. Early days of The Rock, I get it. You know, he's even in that The Mummy, when the Scorpion King first showed up, he looked like crap. Like, it was early days of CG. I understand that, but he did not look good at all.
I do remember how bad that CG was. But.
And he even did the people's eyebrow thing because it was big. But yeah, it was bad. But apparently in this version, he won't be playing the Scorpion King himself, which is interesting to me. He'll just be a side character. I'm sure, he'll be like the sidekick or whatever. But or maybe, because there's not a lot, the Scorpion King will be the big bad, and he's the hero to kill the Scorpion King or stop him. I don't know. We'll see. But I don't know why they're doing this. What do you think?
I'm not really all that excited about it. I mean, if it's on TV or something, I'll sit and watch it, years from now. But other than that, yeah.
It's like you doing a reboot of a spin-off character from a sequel to a big franchise. I was like, what?
It's weird that they make those kinds of decisions instead of, tackling something new.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why are they so scared of new?
Yeah, I don't get it. Because I would definitely go see something like, you can go even do the same vein, Egyptian style. You don't just don't have to be. Yeah, Hollywood's terrified right now of making new things because they know they want to stick with what works. Even though I guess with 4 sequels, it had to work.
We're gonna do this until they get it right.
Yeah. Moving on here. This one shouldn't be news, shouldn't be anything, but for the last time, people, the lady in the next James Bond, No Time to Die, is not becoming James Bond. James Bond has retired, and she is taking over the 007 mantle. She recently was in an interview, and expressed how happy she was that she was getting this, that she's, getting to do this. And of course, the internet came out and were as racist and as abusive as they normally are when it's something they don't like. And it's just, why? Like, if you just listen or actually read the articles that actually printed it, and if the people who are writing the articles will stop doing the clickbaity thing of, new 007 instead of saying, what it actually is, because people instantly just jump to, she should be fucking, he's a British man, what the fuck, So both parties have a little bit more so the evil the evil comment people. But anything to weigh in on that, because it's just ignorant people, basically.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. There's always going to be ignorant people. There's always going to be people who want to put their nasty comments online because it's safe. Mm-hmm. And, there's just nothing we can do about it. All we can do is keep pushing forward, keep making the things regardless of what other people think, and enjoy it for ourselves. And then they can just sit in their little holes and pout.
Yes. But yes, once again, she is, I'm sure none of our listeners, they're smart enough to know this and have read, but she is not James Bond or Jane Bond or whatever you may think. She is 007 and James Bond are two different things. He has been 007 for the MI6 agency, but that is not exclusively what James Bond is.
What if she marries James Bond?
Oh. Well, then she would be a Bond. Yeah, she would becoming 007. But even so,
done.
You just pissed off a lot of people.
Good.
But moving on to let's discuss the showbiz. I said it so somberly because this is also a topic we've talked about before, but the plot has thickened in the worst way. Johnny Depp has been going through some shit for quite some time now. Just a quick rundown. Early on, Amber Heard came out, his ex-wife, and said that he was beating her and abusing her instantly because of the culture without any facts. Everyone, of course, took her side. Of course, it came out later that she may have been beating him. Then it came out again that they beat each other. Either way, they're still going through that case, that trial right now. No verdict has been given either way. But there was a separate trial in which a UK newspaper called Johnny Depp a wife beater, and he sued the paper. But he lost that court case here last week. And that case is his actual case of being determined a wife beater is still going on. Alleged wife beater is still going on. But because he lost this case, the WB finally decided to fire him, ask him to step away from the Fantastic Beasts series, which he did. And talk about the internet going crazy. Like, I have been wrong about how much people hate him because I have been assuming because of his lackluster movie sales and so on and so forth that he's been losing popularity. Apparently not, because the outcry was massive. Like, people were like, bring him back. Okay, if this is happening, the Fantastic Beasts franchise is dead. What series? And a petition started that now has over 1 million signatures of they want Amber Heard fired from Aquaman 2 as well, since he was fired. It's a big mess. WB has tried to make it right. They're giving him his entire salary for the film, but that is not enough for the fans. This franchise is suffering already. Like, they basically, it's the part 2 of the Fantastic Beasts was the lowest money making in the standards of Harry Potter films of all the Harry Potter universe. And it's just like, I say at this point, or I was saying at this point, just scrap it and start over, do something else, because it's not working. As much as I want to see the Grindelwald Dumbledore battle, this is just ridiculous. Grindelwald was already someone else, Colin Farrell. So now he's going to be Colin Farrell, then Johnny Depp. Now he's got to be someone else. It's like, what the hell? What are your thoughts on this whole debacle?
I hate when stuff interrupts movies, whether it be a tragic death or something, some legality. I wish they could just finish it, and then, people can make their own decisions if they want to go see it or not. I mean, we don't always have to like everybody. Like, I still like, that's not going to sound bad, but I still like Michael Jackson's music. I think he's a great musician, but I think the dude is creepy. I mean, when he was alive, I think he was doing some stuff he shouldn't have been doing. And I don't support any of that. But man, can he write a song?
Yeah, and performing. Yeah.
So
and the same can be said about Sean Connery, rest his soul, R.I.P. But the man said it was fine to slap women. Every so often they needed to get smacked, but people still loved his stuff.
I mean, you don't always have to agree with everything that you know about a person if they're in entertainment. You know, you don't have. It's not like, I don't know how to explain it, but you don't always have to support everything they support. You just want to enjoy their performance as either a musician or an actor or a painter or whatever. You just want to enjoy that part of it. So I think you can do that, and and not have to support there are other things that you don't agree with,
especially if it's still not founded. You know, like he hasn't been found guilty of that. It's just been, he can't sue the newspaper for voicing their opinion. That's the only thing that happened. And, but now I wanted to get that all out of the way, because the scuttlebutt, the rumor, the water cooler talk, whatever else he's had to say there, Mads Mikkelsen, I don't know if that name rings a bell to you, but he is in talks to replace Johnny Depp as Grindelwald. Now, I think he is a phenomenal actor, and I think as much as I would like to see them scrap it, I wouldn't be mad if he took over the role.
Right.
But so he's actually supposedly, this is the rumor mill right now, he's in like number one on their list right now to replace Johnny Depp as Grindelwald. So how they're gonna do it, I mean, it's magic, so they can do it however they want, but it kind of is gonna suck, especially knowing all the history behind it, and
Yep, it's an unfortunate thing. It hurts the movie. It hurts it a lot, I think. So.
And already I wish the franchise.
Yep. So I wish it wasn't happening, but nothing I can do about it, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a very sad and crazy. Let's discuss the showbiz. Let's hope these trailers uplift. Let's get into trailers. You first to me, sir.
I'll go right ahead.
Well, I'm going to try and uplift because this trailer is just ridiculous that I saw just in time for the season. Here comes Santa Jaws. Here comes Santa Jaws swimming down the ocean. Yes, I said Santa Jaws. This trailer is about a shark that attacks people while wearing a Christmas hat, and he has been dubbed as Santa Jaws. So,
where do you find these wonderful things? I don't know.
I don't know. So this story starts off with a boy. He is getting blamed for something, and he gets sent to his room. So he's up in his room drawing. He's like, "I'll show them, won't I, Santa Jaws?" And he's drawing what I described, a shark with a fin on their heads. He's like, "I'll make them pay." And then suddenly it zooms to the sky, and there's like a shooting star. And apparently he gets his wish because a insane Jaws-like shark with a Christmas hat on, because he's Santa Jaws, starts to rampage this town and kill people. And at one point, he even grows a candy cane horn and impales somebody on the dock. It is pure lunacy. And the trailer ends with him saying, the boy saying, because he realizes Santa Jaws is evil now, "Ho, ho, ho, you son of a fish."
So I'm looking up now just so I could get a visual. Wow. That's all I can say. Wow.
Oh, yeah, that's my trailer. Just in time for Christmas.
Gotta see that. Okay, I don't know how I'm going to follow that one up since that was so brilliant, but I'm going to try. So mine is called Max Cloud, and it is kind of a zany looking thing. It kind of reminded me, sort of, not exactly, of Turbo Kid. I'm sure you remember that one.
Oh yeah.
And it starts off, there's like a spaceship. It's like in danger. It's plummeting towards a planet and it crashes. And then there's some bad guys. And I guess the hero, Max Cloud, is about to, the fighting looks kind of corny and hokey like Power Rangers, but bear with me. So he jumps in and he does a couple of moves and he kicks some butt. And then all of a sudden you realize it's not a movie about this guy, Max Cloud, a sci-fi movie. It's really a story about a girl who's playing a video game. And she's like, oh, I just wish I could play video games all day. And her dad comes in and takes away her video games for some reason. And then she's like, she pouts, like kids pout. She's like, I wish I could play video games all day. And guess what? She gets transported into the video game that she was playing with Max Cloud as one of the characters. I think she becomes Max Cloud's sidekick, who is actually a boy. So it's like a girl inside it. So there's like a girl inside of a boy character on a game, and she knows she's in the game, and then her best friend comes over, and she's not there, but he starts playing the video game, and then he hears her voice, and he's like, "Oh my God, you're in the game!" So it's basically about her trying to complete the game, I guess, to get out of the game. But yeah, it looks. I'm not saying it looks good, but I just think it looks interesting enough to be one of those beer night movies where you just have some drinks and you just laugh because it looks pretty stupid.
Gotcha.
So that
sounds familiar.
And it's really hard to find good trailers, folks.
It is right now. We got theaters talking about closing down their doors, so movies have slowed down or been pushed back. It sucks.
I will say a lot of the trailers that I have been seeing that are good are for TV shows or limited series.
Yep.
But I've been trying to stick to the movie thing. But I mean, there is some good stuff out there. It's just right now the movies are just trickling in slowly. Speaking
of which, The Queen's Gambit on Netflix, starring Anya Taylor-Joy, is fantastic. If you're looking for a good series to watch,
I've been hearing that.
Yeah, and I think I have a crush on her giant anime eye face. So
yeah, I think everybody does. They are quite striking.
Right.
You know what? Why didn't they just use her when they did Battle Angel? Instead of that,
they wouldn't have had to CG anything.
Yeah, instead of all that CG stuff they did, they could have just used her and it would have been perfect. Oh, what a missed opportunity.
They probably would have felt weird asking her.
No, just don't say why. Just don't say why. We just think you're perfect.
That'll bring us to Mortal. Thunder crackle, 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 crackle. Watchbot, if you would not mind.
A psychologist tries to help a mysterious man who has the power to make people and objects burn by touching them.
Thank you, Watchbot. Mortal, the tale of a misguided lightning rod walking into a city to find love, or something like that. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I apologize. I picked this movie for us to watch. It has nothing. It's like some people were like, "Man, it'll be cool to use some lightning effects."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was the movie because he has no purpose. The chick who finds him has no purpose. The detective has no purpose. Nothing. Did you get anything else out of this movie other than that?
No,
I ain't got nothing.
My most positive comment is the background scenery.
Yeah,
it's extremely beautiful. Extremely beautiful. I mean, the area that they shot in was just gorgeous. I was a little upset because I had mentioned it before on a past episode. The whole let's scan over some trees in the opening of a movie. They do that in this, which kind of annoyed me. I'm like, oh, come on, not again. Like, how many times are we going to see that? Probably a lot. Other than the scenery and that, I am pretty much in agreement with you. I will say the first hour was hard to watch. It was a little rough, but I stuck with
how many times I checked to see how much time was left in the movie. I was like, wait, I got to be getting close to done here. Oh, fuck.
But I stuck with it. And it did start to pick up a little bit about the last 45 minutes. A little bit more interesting. I think if they would have trimmed the front and then did something else with that ending, and then threw like Dana Scully and Fox Mulder in there, you would have made a good X-Files episode.
Yeah,
but outside of that,
actually had a reason to be there.
Yeah,
nobody had a reason to do anything in this movie.
Outside, there were some things that I did enjoy, but overall, I gotta say this. It was not an easy watch. At first I was almost interested because I'm like, why is this guy just hanging out in the woods and just wandering around being homeless? And then there's this weird fire thing that happens. I'm like, whoa, he's got some powers or something. What's going on? But then after that though, initial, peek at what
we never find out why.
Yeah, we just it just drags and then I don't know. I don't like some of the when they decided to finally like, okay, so this kid's wandering around, and these people decide to pick on him, and he tries to get away, and then spoilers, everybody, don't watch this movie anyway, but spoilers. he tries to get away, and then the kid dies. So you don't know if he's like a psychic or if he's like got the plague. Or what's going on, or if there's something spiritual, or
but you forget, and he said, "Don't touch me, or you will burn."
Yeah, but it's just so many questions, and then then it takes this like I said, the start. It almost grabs you because it's halfway interesting, but then it goes and it's like it just gives you too much too fast, and you're like, okay, they capture him, they get him in there, and they're like.
And that is another thing. That whole "don't touch me or you will burn" thing never happens again.
Yeah, but
and at that point, he's supposed to not know how to control his powers. How did the cop arrest him? How did the cop get handcuffs on him?
Apparently, he has control of his powers because he's like, well, look what I can do, and he just burns the table in the room, and he's like, haha, I can look.
But then he instantly loses control again.
Yeah, so it just didn't make any sense. And then I don't understand why. Okay, you got this guy who has these superpowers. And he can just burn a room up or a building, almost destroy a building. So let's get him in a helicopter. It's going to be safe to fly somewhere. No, of course it's not going to be safe to fly somewhere. So of course the helicopter is going to crash.
Yeah,
but then he saves the woman. I wish he had saved that woman.
Yeah, I do too, because she oh my god.
Why would you make that decision later on in the movie, especially after the person saved you?
And she had no reason to.
She's just
none.
Like, just do it. Let's do it. Just do it. Go ahead. No, don't do it. I mean, it would have been a completely different movie. It's a completely different situation. This is like if he's an alien. Let's say he's an alien, because there is an ancient alien theory, with all these the Norse gods and whatnot, and their technologies. Which I like that they represented the belt as well as the glove with the hammer, and not just the hammer. I like that. But outside of that, I mean. Oh man, there's just so many wrong decisions, and I can't even begin.
So this guy is like wanted for burning a barn where people died, 3 or so years ago. Mm-hmm. Then he's wanted for killing a kid, whose dad is very pissed at him. But yet, when they do catch up with this guy, it's like, meh. Let's just treat him like a normal person.
Well, I guess they have to, because if they're like law, if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing as officers of the law, then they should assume he's. I'm going to jump
to ahead and make a very controversial statement here. Even when this movie has proven, even when a man is shooting lightning out of his head, the cops still won't shoot a white person. I said it.
Oh, that's gonna get some trouble. But you're not wrong.
That scene was so ridiculous. He didn't accomplish anything. Like they had already removed their hands, their knees off of her. She was in front of him. The cops were just standing there. He made lightning fence for about 5 seconds and fell over. What now? What? The cops just gonna get you anyway. Who cares? Like, I don't understand it.
I also didn't like the mild romance that abruptly happens. Like, first of all, she's like, and she's supposed to be like a therapist or something, so she's supposed to know not to get. So she's supposed to know not to get involved with the client. Yet that she threw that right out the window. They're because by the end of the movie they're making out and kissing and holding hands and stuff. You don't know what's going on.
And she instantly knew, like when he's panicking in the corner, burning down the police station. She's like, "It's your emotions." we met 2 minutes ago, but
she's good. That's why they hired her.
She's damn good. And then we don't ever get any clarity on why we come in on her crying her eyes out. Like they don't go into detail. What happened? I was still wondering about that mystery. Like, what happened there?
Yeah. And then he instantly, like I said, it's weird. Like, he didn't know how to use his powers, but then all of a sudden he did. Because, like, when he's in the hospital and he, like, shorts out everything, and then all of a sudden some kid's about to die, he's like, what do you say? I can take care of that. And he runs over. I mean, how did he know he could do that? It's just all of a sudden, it's just like, hey. I don't know.
Even before that, and after that, I should say, when they're leaving the hospital, this guy just shorted out an entire hospital. He's still wanted for killing people. Like, why do you just let him walk out and touch people behind the fence? Like, he's Jesus.
Yeah, I thought that was weird because he's holding her hand at first, the therapist's hand, and he's like,
and he lets go.
He's like, let me go over here. I got to talk to my fans.
And this man's wanted by the cops still.
Very strange. So they take him to a farm.
Oh God.
That's the safe place, apparently.
Oh God. And then the military has fenced off area. Why?
How do they do that so fast?
Why isn't this man in a safe facility being studied? Why are the military complying with his every whim? I don't understand it. First they want to kill him. They're on the bridge. They want to kill him. They want to capture him. But because I mentioned the foreign people he killed. I mentioned the boy he killed. But he's also responsible for the death of American federal agents. Three of them. They just forget about all that. He wants to go to a farm. Let's let him go. Old Eric wants to go.
So this is when they get to the farm is when it gets halfway interesting. Okay, so they find he falls on the ground. He's like, I can't move. And I'm immediately thinking, the hammer or whatever.
Yeah.
But so they get him off of there and they're like, hey, we need you to go stand way over there because it's not safe. So we're going to dig this up. And then after we dig it up, we're going to throw you in there while we're over here where it's safe. And then see what happens. Like, okay, it's not a good idea.
It's just full of bad ideas. And there was no, at this point, you were like, yeah, of course, it's the hammer. Duh. Right. Like, there's no suspense. There's no anything. And then, but the gunshot makes the release. Am I skipping too much?
Yeah, there's one part that I wanted to cover that I thought was hilarious, was that these military folks sneak into the farm, okay? There's all these people guarding the farms, apparently, yet they're able to sneak into the farm, right? Because then they got the little, sniper things on the guy. And then, but later, a crowd of people just walk right up.
Walk right past everybody.
Like, where did these people instantly come from?
Yeah. It's just... and at one point they literally show those people behind the gate being held off by military, but then I guess that just disappears.
Yeah, no sense. And the story just I don't know, it just confuses me. But anyhow, go ahead, do with the gunshot. So
Eric is the American military have guns aimed on Eric this whole time. Aimed on Eric this entire time.
They're not very good shots.
And somehow, when she finally says, take the shot, this person did not run up to him. She has been standing there for a while. Instead of killing Eric, they kill her from a completely different angle. I could see what they should have done if they were going to do that. The bullet should have hit from the back and blood splatter in his face. The bullet came from the side. This completely open side where you had a clear view of Eric. And hit her. What?
They could have taken Eric out anytime they wanted because they had him just hanging out by himself by a barn. I mean, there's no point. Wait till he, comes out with the hammer and then be like, yeah, we're going to shoot him now.
Yeah.
The last chance. I mean, you should have did it before if you were going to do it at all. And you shouldn't have done it at all because it just made no sense.
Yeah.
And of course, he's going to be upset. I mean, why? What? Hello?
Yeah, you just killed us. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this movie.
I did like the lightning that came out of the hammer after, that
when he's chasing the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun. But outside of that, yeah.
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes pulled up, and if this movie it's
100%. No, I'm just kidding. So it's got a tomato meter score of 54% with only 26 counts, but it does not have an audience score.
Good. No one's watched this shit. Keep that up. I hate to diss movies, but like this, like he never had a purpose. Like he didn't want to go back to the forum. That was just a suggestion from the head of the police officers. She was confused on whether or not she wanted to turn him in. Like they didn't have a plan. We never got an actual reason of why that the American government want to take him for testing. Did they want to kill him? Why did they want to kill him? Did they like nobody had a legit plan until we found this nursery book of Norse mythology. Like,
yeah. And everything made sense.
Yeah. Oh, it all clicked now. Let's go back to the farm. That's where it happened.
Yeah. And again, there were some beautiful visuals, but and a couple of special effects that were okay, but not great. I don't know. It's not a complete and total scrap of a film, I would say, but it could have been a lot better.
I think he needs, if they would have gave him like, yeah, he kept saying he said once in the brief, I saw this tree. But if he would have been like, I'm being drawn back to the farm, at some point say that. Like but he never had an inkling. He just was like, man, that farm, that's where the thing happened, Like give him some sort of motivation to do something. I felt like he's just a walking lightning rod. That's it.
Yeah. Did you feel like the ending was a little abrupt?
It was.
Just poof, just
mortal.
Oh God.
That's how it ended.
Yes. You just made it flash back to my head. I could see it.
And it's like, you guys ain't getting a sequel. I don't know what the fuck you're doing that for. Oh man. I'm sorry. I know how difficult it is to make a film, but and I hate being mean when it comes to it, but sometimes, oh gosh.
You gotta watch these though. You gotta see these to help us appreciate the really, really good ones. You see what doesn't work in this, and it's studying what doesn't work, and then we saw it. Again, if you would have shortened it, you could have made a good episode of something sci-fi.
Yes. Yeah. So he's the grandson of Thor.
He's a distant relative somehow. We don't know.
Somehow, yeah. Because that Thor's sons came down and blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Messing with the mortals and making these guys don't know how to control their power.
Until they do.
Yeah. It does have sort of a lesson besides, not being the greatest film. It does have a lesson, you shouldn't mess with that kind of stuff. If you got a god or demigod or whatever with power standing in front of you, like don't try to shoot it, make friends with it. Otherwise it's just going to destroy you.
Or I think I feel like if those guys on the bridge would have just opened fire, it would have been over.
Yeah, it would have been over then. Because after he got the hammer, he had some kind of a force field. So
yeah. Well, go watch it now for you, sir.
I say no, just because there's so many better things out there to watch. But if you had no other options, this was the only movie that existed, then I guess you have no choice.
I would say, even if this was the only movie that existed, read a book. So,
There you go.
No, go watch for me. And it's been a while since I've done that. It's coming from the guy whose trailer was Santa Jaws. But yeah, that is Mortal. Apologies once again to the filmmakers of that movie. But yeah, there was a Freaks, They Are Among Us. That was a decent little low budget movie because you can tell this movie kind of didn't have a big budget, but that Freaks, They Are Among Us, like they did a lot with a little. Good story,
great story.
You know, yeah. But you guys need to watch that movie before you make the part 2 of this. But yeah, episode 156, Mortal, where you can find us. You can find us at gowatchmovie.com, the one-stop shop for all things entertainment. The podcast is there. The podcast is also anywhere a podcast can be played. Yeah, news there, trailers there. That's it. Leave the lady who's becoming 007, but not James Bond alone. I'm Kelvin.
And I'm Robert.
Go watch a movie.
Your popcorn, rip that ticket, get in that seat, lickety splicket. Go watch a movie.